everyone, welcome back. Today's video is about oil samples, tips and tricks that I use that I think can make all of our lives a lot easier out in the field trying to get oil samples, because sometimes we all know oil samples can be a pain. There's several things I want to show you, but the first thing I want to show you is this little thing here. Cat calls this an oil sample probe. I'll put the part number like right here if you want to screenshot it. And they're about $30. They are expensive, but when taking oil samples, these things can make your life a lot easier. They have the quick connect ports on the Cats. John Deere has them. I've started noticing them on Komatsu, and I hadn't really noticed them on many other machines, but for those machines, they will make your life a lot easier. I keep 3 with me at all times. I have one I've put a hose on like this just to, sometimes they're in a tight spot. That's just a piece of our oil sample hose. So if you want to do that. So I'm going to show you how to use these little things, because I promise you, if you get one, you will love it. It will make your oil sample time faster and easier and cleaner, so you don't get sprayed in the face all the time with stuff. So I'm gonna jump into it and show y'all how these work. All right, so I'm on an excavator for this one, but this applies to dozers, dump trucks, wheel loaders. What you're gonna want to do is come back where the oil filters are. The probe locations are almost always on the oil filters. I actually pulled them off. They all have little covers on them, especially on the Cat. That's what the hydraulic oil one looks like. And that's what the engine oil one looks like. So what you'd want to do is come back here and find these 2 ports that are labeled or covered with these, and that's where you'll take your oil samples from using that little probe. So I'm gonna grab the probe and show you how it works real quick. Okay, you do have to start the machine, which is noisy, so hopefully this will come through. Hey everyone, Future Matt here. I realized that you couldn't really hear the volume with the machine running in the background, so I thought I would just do a voiceover and try to read my own lips. So let's give that a shot. Okay, first of all, yep, there's the hydraulic pump, and we don't know what we're really talking about. Oh, there's a turkey over there, and I don't know, everybody celebrate. Okay, clearly this is not working. Let's try a different way. Okay. So usually the first thing you do, locate your hydraulic port right there, sample port, and I always wipe mine off with a paper towel just because they get a little grody. Then take your oil sample probe and your bottle. Okay, then you put your probe up on the sample port, put your bottle up, and you have to give it a good firm press, but it will press down and then spray the oil into the bottle, and it's in low pressure. So just like that, you have your sample, you use your probe, no cleanup, everything's done. Just that easy. All right, so that's how you use the little oil sample probe. I've got my sample. I didn't get oil all over me or my feet or my arms or my head, and it was a lot easier. And there's nothing to clean up. There's no hoses to dispose of, which saves your hose for when you actually do need some hose. So it's a win-win. You find the little probes on all Cats. John Deere's have gotten where they have them on most things, and Komatsu's just started showing up with them. And it's always by the filter. So it's gonna be by the hydraulic filter for the hydraulic oil, transmission filter for the transmission oil, and the engine for the engine oil. And yeah, super fast, super easy, no cleanup. All right, the next thing on my oil sample tips and tricks is these. We've all filled out a million of these. Obviously you got your tracking number, your make and your serial number, but the girls in the sample lab sometimes have a hard time locating these. It would help a lot if you just took 2 extra seconds and wrote your machine item number right here in your iPad, the item number in your iPad right there. It helps those girls in the oil sample lab a lot, because sometimes they can't locate it by this, sometimes they can't locate it by this. This just makes their life a lot easier. It's a little thing. It takes 2 seconds for us that might save them 10 minutes in the long run. So please, if you can, start doing that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the dreaded yellow dipstick Cummins that you cannot get an oil sample hose down in. We've all run into this, I know. You've tried everything, right? You've cut your hose at an angle and tried to shove it down in there, and it just won't go. That neck of that dipstick tube is just too narrow. So this trick helps a lot. Get you a good pair of pliers. We all should have them in our truck anyway. Piece of hose. I'm just gonna grab it right here by the end. Squeeze, give it a good pull. Now, see how I've stretched the end of that hose? Okay. We're going to take our hose cutter, cut that off, and you've still got, now that will go down in the Cummins dipstick. You might have to stretch it out longer, but that will go down in the yellow Cummins dipsticks, so you can still get an oil sample out. It's a good little trick, handy little trick. We've all run into that on these road tractors. So there you go. So yeah, that's about it for tips and tricks on oil samples. I hope that helps somebody. Again, anything you can do to save a few seconds or also save some cleanup is anything helps. Anything helps. So tune in next time. Hopefully we'll have some more of these videos coming out soon. Thank you, everybody.